influence policy decisions and, of course, ripple all the way to household budgets here in Ghana. Reports actually suggest that the US and Iran have reached a framework agreement, that is likely going to affect a lot of things in our economy and a lot of things in business and, of course, households and all of that. But why does this matter? Because today's interconnected world, the world we live in today, geopolitics is never just politics. It's a lot of things. And so this morning we take a step back, to ask the bigger questions. If this deal is finalized, what could it mean for the global economy? And more importantly for us here in Ghana, what could it mean for businesses struggling with, costs for an economy managing inflationary pressures, and also for households trying to make every cedi count? And I'm joined over the phone lines by John Che. He's a financial analyst, and he joins me for this conversation. John, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Trevi.
How are you doing, my brother?
Please, I'm fine. How are you too?
Yeah, I'm well too, by God's grace. Good to have you this morning. Well, first of all, what was your reaction when President Donald Trump actually said that they've reached a deal with the Iranian folks? What was your reaction? I know you've been monitoring whatever has been going on there.
Yes. And, I think for the past weeks we have been having this discussion about inflation and all that. I think this issue has been one of my greatest worry. And in fact, I think I mentioned earlier that, looking at Trump's philosophy, which is more on the economy, he will not allow the world economy to suffer. So, I was really, hopeful that, he will bring the world to an end. And the pressures that are starting to build up, will slow down so that, Ghana can be on that path of where we are going. And I think it's a very good news. I think the whole world was expecting this great news. And in fact, the reaction has started. Oil price has fallen from about $95 per barrel to about $77 per barrel. And I think in recent interview, Trump himself has mentioned that we shouldn't worry once the war comes to an end. Oil price is going to fall even below the before the war started. So I think we are all excited, and we are hopeful that, as they have mentioned, that Friday they would give us the details and sign the final agreement. We are going to see a lot of benefits, especially, when it comes to fuel prices.
I see. And for Ghana, that means a lot. And I'm sure we'll break all of that down shortly. But maybe first of all, so what exactly has been agreed on so far? What do we know so far in terms of the deal that has been agreed on, and why does it even matter?
Yes. So so far, Trump has not really given us the details of the deal, but looking at, what the news papers are reporting, I think the major reason for this war was the nuclear, weapon issue. U.S. was trying to prevent Iran from having, and then I think there's been an agreement on that. And if you also look at, some whispers from major news like New York Post and the rest, they are making, the issue of, releasing Iran frozen assets, and then also allowing them to sell oil freely to every country. And I think this is very significant because, for so many years, there have been a lot of sanctions on Iran oil, and there's few countries that they're able to sell their oil to. But I think one major aspect of this deal is that, Friday, they will have that chance to now sell. And you see, Iran is very significant because, if you look at the world oil producers, they are number 3 when it comes to oil reserves. They have some significant oil reserves, not just oil reserves, but proven and developed oil reserves. Okay, and this country was sanctioned heavily from selling the oil to any country of their choice. So, if this agreement is signed and they now have that freedom, that's even going to add a lot of supplies to the world economy. And I think it's really going to be a good news to all of us.
I see. Okay, so what what is the? I mean, if this deal is finalized on Friday and it holds, what is the first economic impact the world? And I'm looking at the global world, right? What are we going to see
Yes.
globally?
Yes, so I think the first thing will be a significant drop in oil price. For the past months, we realized that most countries were trying to hold on to their reserves to make sure, if the thing escalates to, a level that, oil and supply becomes an issue, they are going to rely on their reserves. Most countries were not willing to sell their oil across the country. We know what happened to Strait of Hormuz, where most oil tankers are stuck, and European countries facing doubling, inflation in terms of oil price. So as far as this deal is finalized on Friday, I think the major impact is that we are going to see significant drop in oil price, and I think I even fall below the pre-war era, where it was around $70. Okay, and one significant issue is also that U.S. is now, I know they have now taken over Venezuela. One thing about Venezuela is that they are also part of the first three producers of, oil when it comes to oil reserves. And now U.S. has taken over and they can now sell to any country. So it is going to be very significant increase in, oil supply, and that is really going to drop inflation. You have seen most stock markets in various countries reacting positively to, this impending good news. The reason why, most of them are skeptical at this moment is because, Trump sometimes, can tell you there's a deal, and then, small issue, then he backfire, he goes back to his words, and there's a lot of issues. And that's even the reason why the market is not really reacting aggressively.
Also, that means that it could have actually gone down a lot more. Hello? Hello? All right, I think I lost John there. Let me try and see if we can reconnect him. And
But
then,
once on
hello, John.
Friday, the deal is finalized.
Hello, John.
Yes, it would have gone down more if, there was that kind of.
Hello, John.
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, we lost
Yes,
you
I
for a
can
few
hear you.
seconds. Yes, I was asking that.
Hello,
It means
I
that
can hear you.
it means that
Hello,
it can.
yes, good morning.
Hello. All right.
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was asking that, does it mean that the prices could have fallen beyond? I think you mentioned $77 or so. It means that it could have gone down a lot more.
Yes, it could have gone down a lot more. I know, but you see, the way Trump is, everybody is a bit skeptical, because for him, even a tweet that trying to insult him can make him change his mind. Do you get it? So I think the world is a bit skeptical about, his announcement, and they are really waiting to see whether indeed this time around he won't change his mind, because it has happened in the past where he mentioned there's a deal, and then the following day bombs were flying everywhere. So everybody wants to be certain that indeed this thing that he has mentioned is really coming to pass. And I think when we realize that on Friday the deal is going to be finalized, I'm sure oil price will fall more than what we are seeing currently.
What levels were we at before the war started? The war started in the war started in February, right? So what levels were we on?
Yes.
How much was a barrel at the time before we?
Yes. So before the war started, 3 months even before, oil price dropped to about $55 per barrel. And when the issue of a possible Iran, U.S. war, looking at the rhetorics and the rest, then oil price started moving from $55 per barrel, and it moves out to 70, waiting to see whether indeed, they will act on their word. And once they acted on their word, then we see that significant share increase in oil price. So what it means is that, you see, the deal is really going to even add more than the war era. So what it means is that I'm expecting the oil price, once the thing is finalized, and that 60-day period they have given themselves for negotiations to be done, when everything is finalized, I'm very sure the oil price will fall below $55 per barrel.
I see. And what are the factors that will make that happen?
Yeah, so the first thing is that, the Friday is just signing of the memorandum of understanding, and every country is expected to go by his side of the agreement. If any of the country decides to do their own stuff, there'll be a reaction, and that will jeopardize the deal. So we are hoping that 60-day period that they have given themselves to finalize every details of it and to ensure compliance from both sides, they all go by their commitment. And I'm sure once every US, Iran, Israel, they all go by their commitment, I'm very sure that we are going to see a significant impact on the world economy. The good thing is that US is come to have a midterm election, and I'm sure that's even the reason why Trump is pushing hard. Because when he was coming, he promised that we are going to buy fuel at the lowest cost possible. And I'm sure he's pushing for that to happen before their election. And that's why he's willing to compromise in any way for that deal to work. So we are hoping that there will be no significant, changes in their mind when it comes to the implementation. And I'm sure we will all benefit significantly.
So are we saying that oil is the biggest story in this?
Yes. Oil has been the biggest since the war started. The impact of oil is significant. Oil is everything. Everything you industrialize, everything that the world hinges on is about oil. And so the whole conversation of this war, where the war is even between the US and a major oil producing country, where they even have access to a significant route in terms of supply of oil. That is very significant. Okay. And once oil price drop, everything drops. And that's the good news. Once oil price drop, we expect everything to drop to follow suit. And that is really going to benefit all of us.
I see. Now, we've seen a lot of markets reacting already, and you even allude to that fact. Why do financial markets respond so quickly to geopolitical developments?
Yes. So you see, in terms of financial market, it's more about expectation. When it comes to investors, they don't wait for things to happen. It's all about expectation. It's all about what they are seeing, where the world is going. So the moment that they see, investors don't want to delay to miss opportunities. So once there's even a rumor and they feel that rumor can be true, they act on it. Because, for example, if let's say, before the war, you realize that, people predicted the war will happen. So, started buying oil, at that low price. And we see that effect. You get it? So the investors always want to plan ahead.
Right.
And to first take advantage if it happens. And so they are always, in hurry to react to any means that come to the market. And because they know that if they miss out, it will happen and they will not cash out. And that is why we see financial markets always responding first to some of these things than the actual issue happening.
I see. But so what do you think investors are expecting right now? Hello?
Yes, so I think for now, investors are expecting a serious, market turnaround. They're expecting oil price to drop, and they're expecting the stock market to do better. And Trump is in power. Trump is all about the economy. Trump is always boasting about stock markets rally. And so as far as this deal is done, investors expect that the financial markets will work better and make huge returns. And people are already making huge returns. Those who predicted that something will be signed, they are already cashing out. Or for the thing to drop from about $100 per barrel to 77, that's about 30%, 20 to 25% drop.
Yeah.
Do you get it? And this is even just the rumor that deal is at the corner. Imagining it happening and season of hostilities and all that. That is really going to be significant for the world economy.
I see. And I am suspecting that then that will mean we're going to see an increase in global investment activity. Is that what will happen?
Yes, especially in developing countries. We are going to see significant investment in developing countries. If these things, especially Ghana, for example, where economy is rebounding, even all these pressures, Ghana is still on the rise. And so we are going to see significant investment, foreign investment in our economy and globally. You see
Mm.
everybody. You remember Tesla or Elon Musk just launched IPO,
Yeah,
a record
SpaceX.
IPO,
Mm.
and so it means that there's that expectation that, I mean, if this war is over, we are going to really witness, I mean, serious activities on the in the on the world market, and that
Mm.
is really going to, I mean, push more investors to invest.
Mm. All right, we're going to come to Ghana shortly, but let's stay on the global front. So, does it mean that this is also going to change, or could this deal actually help reduce inflation around the world?
Yes, yes. So you see, in fact, US even had a serious impact as a result of this war. I mean, their gas oil price rose by about, I mean, $2 per the previous price.
Mm.
So it's really, and if especially Europe really sees significant impact when it comes to, I mean, oil prices. And you realize that if you look at their April, May inflation, they were all going up. US even experienced increase in their inflation. And
Mm.
most of the central banks indicated that it's as a result of the oil pressures, the increase, the oil price hike, and the rest. So once, I mean, it's dropping, and we are hoping it's even drops further, there's going to be serious, significant decline in world
Mm.
inflation. Remember, IMF and World Bank have to even come and revise their growth rates because they realize that, I mean, the oil price spike is affecting almost every country.
Mm.
So once, I mean, we are going back, I'm sure a new revision will come, and every country is going to face significant drop in their inflation for, I mean, investment to continue. So
Mm.
I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful about this deal, and I'm very sure that, I mean, every country is going to benefit from this.
But how significant is that going to be? Is it going to be very significant? I mean, the
Yes,
effect of this.
it's really. Yeah, so imagine oil price has gone up by over 50% and dropping by 50%. That is seriously, that is a significant drop.
Mm.
You get it? And that's really going to affect every product because every product is transported, and as a result, fuel is required. So
Mm.
once you are going to see that significant drop there, I mean, every economy, like all the economic sectors will start taking, I mean, shape again.
Mm.
Because we realized that at the beginning of, I mean, 2026, I mean, the world economy was rebounding seriously, not just developing countries, but most countries were really doing well. And then this just came to disturb, I mean, UK even had to, I mean, as a result, the prime minister was under serious pressure
Yeah.
as a result of, that is why you realize that most of the countries were trying to persuade President Donald Trump to calm down and to agree because everybody was being affected. So, and you know, when they heard that this deal is, I mean, coming into effect, they have started calling Trump, having meeting with him. They are having G7 country
In
meeting.
France,
They are
yeah.
talking about. Everybody is excited. Yes. So I think it's a significant. Every country wanted this war to win. You know, if you look at the impact of the war, where Iran was even threatening major oil producing countries like Qatar, UAE, they were threatening countries like Saudi Arabia, they were destroying even some of their plans. And so it was a very serious issue. Do you get
Mm.
it?
Mm.
So as far as everything is now coming down, I mean, everybody will come back to the drawing table and now focus on the economic growth than
Mm.
putting a lot of investment in weapons production that does not really add anything to the economy.
Mm. All right, John, kindly hold on for me. Let me announce the phone lines in case anybody wants to join the conversation. And then when I return, we can talk a lot more about, we can come down to Ghana and try to make some sense of that as well. All right, so if you just tune in exactly 31 minutes after 9, this is the Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM with me, Nitrebi Hammond. And this morning, we're talking about the US-Iran peace deal and what that could mean for the global economy, what that could mean for Ghana's economy, for businesses, and of course for households. And my guest is John Che. He's a financial analyst, and he has joined me over the phone lines for this conversation. You are also free to join us. Feel free if you have any questions, any question at all, feel free to send them to me. 0544 321019 0544 321019. Send me a WhatsApp and I'll read your messages for you this morning. Also, you can call us on that same number or call us on 03039566641, 03039566641, and then I will give you the opportunity to share your thoughts with us this morning. We're streaming live on Facebook at ZFMGH and on YouTube at Z Multimedia. Feel free to drop a comment under the live stream and I'll read them for you as well. Yes. All right, John, let's continue the conversation. So, talking about Ghana, what does a successful, US-Iran peace deal potentially mean for the economy? So by Friday, quarter Friday, when everything has settled and everything, what would it mean? I want us to break it down very, very, to the simplest form possible.
Yes. We have been experiencing, rebounding economy since last year, and everybody was happy, right?
Yeah.
And I think when the central bank governor even mentioned that his focus is to bring interest rate to a single number, we're all excited because that's really going to be a catalyst for a serious economic transformation. Imagining you borrowing money at 5% the whole year, any money you borrow, you pay 5%. I'm sure everybody can now do business. Because the financing costs has gone down in a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
And what really happened? And you could see that the whole of 2025, inflation was coming down, policy rate was also coming down. But when the war started, you realize that the inflation pressure started building again. You see the producer price index even moving to 2.7%, seeing inflation again moving to 3.7%. Then it becomes an alarming issue where then it's like, the inflation pressures are building again. And you see even what was happening at the pump when it comes to our fuel price. Fuel price came down to about 9.99 before the war. 9.99. There were some OMCs that were selling, oil products, petrol and diesel at a very significant rate, a low rate. Now, what happened during the war was that, oil price almost doubled. Because you're looking at from 9.9 moving to about 18. It even went to 18 and came down a bit again, hovering around 15. That's very significant. That's over 50% increase in fuel price. And that was hitting everybody. It was hitting even the oil sector because, your working capital will now need to be increased in order to survive. Do you get? Because the point is, whatever you were using to buy products, you now need a double of that amount. There came to a point where oil price, came down to about, let's say, 69 pesos, some of the products, but now it's doubled to about 13 cities. So you can see that significant increase. And everybody was, struggling. We were all complaining to the extent that drivers even wanted to increase.
Hello? All right.
They are fares because they are also seeing the impact. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Yes. So you see that everybody was being affected. That's why I'm moving from even the sector itself to drivers, how they were also impacting them, to those who even import products. They were also seeing significant increase in their shipping costs. They were also seeing supply chain disruptions and everywhere. So it was really impacting. The government has to even come in to now, take some of the taxes, impacting government's, revenue. So everybody was feeling the impact. Everybody. The whole chain, the whole from producer side to customers to government. And as a result, government needed, or even the central bank needed to now relax on their aggressive, decrease in policy rate. Do you get it? So you realize that, the war wasn't something good for us. And I was worried. Personally, I was really worried because, see, when economy is rebounding, it must continue for about 3 years for everybody to see the impact. But if, let's say, it just happens in a year and things start, reversing, then you lose, everybody will be complaining. How the good economy numbers, I'm not seeing the impact, I'm not seeing it. Because most often, the impact of economic growth normally, takes time to trickle down to the ordinary person.
Yeah.
Do you get? Because there are some sectors that must grow first to employ people, to buy more, to expand. And that's really what happens. And then the economic growth goes to everybody, and we are all happy. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So, but if I say just after 1 year there's a crisis like this, and as a result, oil price is jumping, and things are becoming difficult, then even economic managers will become very disturbed. Now, the good news is that all these things that we're building up is likely to end this Friday, meaning we are reversing back to the pre-war era where we were on that smooth ride to a very good economic performance as a country. Okay, and that's why I feel everybody must be happy with this deal. And we are not a party to it, but we're really, facing the significant impact, especially not just Ghana, most developing countries. And as a result of the war, even if you want to raise external funding, because people now want to be safe, which and the US economy is always characterized as a safe haven. Everybody was going there. People even having cities wanted to convert to dollars because they wanted to be safe. Now, all these things that were going on, by Friday, we are not going to see that again. And that is really significant good news for all of us. So that our economic managers can get that breathing space to continue all the reforms and the positive things that they are doing that is making the economy resilient. And I think it's a very good thing. We must all be happy. And I'm sure if this thing happens, inflation will start coming down again. And right, we are not going to see uptick. We are going to see coming down. Bank of Ghana will now be more confident going down on the policy rate. You will see lending rates going down again, and then we all become happy. So it's a very important step to us. And in fact, that is what personally I've been praying for. That no, we can't lose all these sacrifices. Look at how much Bank of Ghana has sacrificed to put the economy on that good footing.
Yeah.
And then crisis is about to happen to derail all the gains. And so personally, I was very worried. And therefore, I'm very excited that there's an end to this issue that is affecting everybody, especially developing countries.
I see. I see. John, are you still with me? Hello?
Yes.
All right, great. So I just wanted to be sure whether you were done speaking. Well, so it means that we're going to see some changes in maybe likely changes in our inflation numbers. We're going to see it get better. Also, fuel prices, isn't it?
Yes. You are going to see a significant decrease in fuel price. I think it has even started. It has started. No, this second window of the month. NPA has reduced the what is they called the floor price. They have reduced it to about 13. So the effect has already started. Even when the deal has not even been signed, the effect has already started. You get it, and you see even exchange rate to now improving. At first, it was coming under pressure, but now it's also stabilized and it's coming down. You see the city appreciating again. So it's a very good news to all of us, and we must be excited about it.
John, well, let me be clear on something. I think when you were speaking, it appeared as if the gains that we are seeing is largely going to be dependent on this alone. Doesn't it have to do with how we are managing the economy as well?
Yes. So you see, so far, our economic managers have shown level of, how do I even call it? Level of
discipline.
Yes, like they are being prudent with the economy. So personally, I don't think we are going to have, especially our president's term, which is the final term, which he is more focused on legacy, you could see that still the finance minister very disciplined in his expenditure approach and everything. So on that, local front, we are doing things right. And I think the finance minister also makes it clear that even when it comes to big commitments, this is what the money we are going to use. You see, he makes it clear. It's not like, we are not going to, but he says, okay, for the big, at first I was worried about the big push. Because I feel, he's going to lead to a lot of borrowings, and that's going to affect, a lot of things. But he says, no, we are going to use oil money. So you could see a lot of discipline at the fiscal side. You're also seeing a lot of aggressive participation of the monetary side in supporting the fiscal side. And I don't think the president want to, lose all the good news. I think Global Info even released a poll that shows that he has about 71% approval rating, and I think he wants to even improve it more. So on that local side, I'm not seeing that kind of, if you say election year will come, maybe 2028, 2027. I mean, looking at the path that we are going, I don't think the president will want to sacrifice that for anything. Maybe because that is his last term, and he knows that if it continues like this, it will be even easier for his party to win. So I don't think they want to, I mean, derail all the benefits that they are seeing. Okay, but so the challenge was more of the global front, which they didn't really have much control when it comes to the global front, because whatever happened worldwide, that way you can't control anything. And so for that one was my major concern. Do you get it? So once, I mean, that global front is now coming to an end, and it will be more of localized management. And I'm very sure that this current, I mean, regime will do the right thing, especially when, I mean, they have a goal to achieve. That I think when I was even listening to them finance, they said the highest inflation I want to see this year is 5%. Then the central bank is also, I mean, responding in a similar, manner. You could see there's that kind of, I mean, teamwork happening at both the fiscal side and the monetary side to make things better for us. So I'm not sure, I mean, they will allow their local problems to, I mean, to derail all the good things we have seen about the economy. Right. So once the global issue is resolved, I'm sure we will continue to travel in that path that we were traveling last year.
I see. You talk about something very important, which is the big push. I don't want to focus largely on the big push, but I want to focus on the fact that it was actually revenue from, or it is actually revenue from our oil production that is actually going to get us, all the routes and things that we are getting in, for big push. And so, of course, Ghana is a producer of oil. We are also an importer as well. Does this deal give us, okay, what does this deal do to us? Because I know that on one side, it is going to help individuals individuals and all of us who are getting full and all of that. But on the other side, we're also going to lose revenue, isn't it?
Yes. The good thing is that, you see, when we were doing our budgets for 2026, we were using the pre-war era, analysis. So I think we cap our, oil price to about $70, per barrel and the rest. So whatever is even happening currently was just additional profits we're making. I'm sure maybe that profit was being used to offset certain losses that we're incurring in some places. So as far as, the budget was not anchored on the recent performance of, the oil price, but was based on the pre-war era, I don't think it's really going to hit us hard. Are you getting? Because in 2025, oil price were around October, where the budget was presented in November. So October, September, oil price was around $55 per barrel to $60 per barrel. And our projections were based on that kind of expectation. And in fact, during those times, there were a lot of conversation, the oil price will continue to drop. So I'm sure that kind of risk was taken into effect as far as our exports of oil and all those things are concerned. Do you get it? And you see, the point is that even if we export and the import is more than the export when it comes to that, at the end of the day, you still lose no matter how much you are getting from the export, because then you have to still pay more to get the imports, which is mostly the finished product for your companies. And so I think the price decline is good for us than the price going up. And basically because in terms our imports, in terms of oil, is far more than the exports that we get.
I see. Right. So if I get you, well, what you're saying is that because we are projected to make, say, $55 US per barrel, and the war happened and then prices shot up, we were able to make more than what we had projected, right? And so what is happening now is actually not going to affect us that much. That's the point.
Yes, exactly hit the point.
Mm. All right, fantastic. So maybe we'll touch on a few things because our time is almost up. We'll touch on a few things and then we can go. So fuel prices are going to drop. Inflation is also going to come down. What implication will this have, or could this have for our currency as well?
Yes, yes. So I think the local effect that we are going to see is that, I mean, our drivers are going to enjoy more again. And we are going to see the pump prices falling
Mm.
heavily from next week going. And I think our drivers, consumers, industries are really going to benefit from that. And once there's drop in fuel, then clearly it will translate into price of goods and services. And
Mm.
we're also going to see a decline in that aspect. And I think still gold, I've seen gold picking up. I mean, gold was falling. In fact, we were losing a lot from gold. I
Mm.
mean, that conversation has not come up. But I mean, since the war started, and I mean, gold prices started falling. I mean, because I mean, and because of the asset is volatile. So once there's going to be peace, I'm expecting gold price to also continue. So the revenues that we have been getting from gold to shore up our currency will still continue to be there for us. And I'm sure that Bank of Ghana will have total oversight over the exchange rate and push it to any level that they want. Okay, it's very easy for them because as far as, I mean, and we have a lot of international reserves. And the reserve is not a problem again to us and currently. So that is not so. I mean, you're not going to see a lot of pressure on the city. You're not going to see that. And oil prices are falling too. So I mean that what you are going to normally what you export in terms of demand for dollars to export will also go down. So in fact, I'm expecting exchange rate to even be better than before the war started. It's going to be better. Okay. And so it looks like every aspect of the economy is going to be better as far as my expectation is concerned.
Mm.
And I'm sure personally I feel the good news that I think recently I negotiated for an interest rate for my campaign, and I
Mm.
think the interest rates. I mean, Ghana, an individual can walk to a bank and get let's say a loan at 13.5%. That is a very good news. So imagining, I mean, this war stops, inflation pressures now over, Bank of Ghana coming down more to let's say 10%, because now there's a mismatch. So there's a mismatch
Mm.
among the economic numbers. You can't have inflation around 3.7. You have treasury bill rates around 5.5, and then monetary policy around 14.
Mm.
And then even your GR is even around 10. So you could see a mismatch in the economic numbers, which suggests that we expect monetary policy to come down. And if it comes down to, let's say, 10 to 8, then clearly there will be that connection. And
Mm.
I mean, we are going to see a significant drop in lending rate, and everybody can do business and make more money. And that
Mm.
can, I mean, lead to serious economic transformation. So the benefits are a lot, going to
Mm.
translate into a lot of things. We are hoping that the discipline will continue. We are hoping that, I mean, um, in Ghana, we have that record, historical record, that when we get to a point, we feel so and now want to misbehave. I mean, we have that kind of record.
Mm.
And if you look at numbers from 2017 to 2020, it was also good like that. But they felt, oh, everything is good, so let's just do whatever we want. And we know what happened. So I'm hoping that, I mean, this one will continue to be more disciplined in
Mm.
every approach. And that's why I'm being happy that even despite exiting from IMF, they are still saying that no, IMF, even though you're hesitant, we still want your feedback on how we are performing so that we can do better.
Mm.
I think that's a very good strategy adopted to help our economy to be more resilient, investor confidence to. And we see what happened. People don't know, but I mean the international community has has had more confidence in the management of the economy. So they'll be
Mm.
after the war. So most foreign investors will come here to invest, looking at the opportunities available.
Mm. I see. Now you talk about gold. We haven't really delved into the business aspect of it anyway. But you spoke about gold briefly. I thought that gold is usually, a hedge against inflation, and so as a result, I mean there are conflicts and all of that, people run to gold as a safe haven. But you said that gold is prices are going to do well. I don't quite get the connection.
Yes,
Maybe if you
yes.
can break that
So
down.
yes, so you see. even though, yes, I mean, gold is used as a hedge against inflation, you get to a level of economy where, I mean, people appetite for risky assets grow. Gold is a very risky asset because it's very
Mm.
volatile.
Yeah.
So normally when the demand for risky assets grows, I mean it also affects gold and people also tend to buy more gold
Mm.
because so gold is classified under that kind of arrangement. So when anytime you see stock markets rallying, you see gold also doing well.
Yeah.
And you see the dollar falling. Do you get it? So sometimes, I mean, there are times that people will use gold as inflationary hedge, or there are also times that people feel, oh, for now, looking at how stable the economy is, we want to invest more in risky assets, which gold is even the super one risky asset that we have. So
Mm.
when it happens that way, much attention goes to gold and price goes up. Okay,
Yeah.
it is mostly when there are a lot of fears. So you see, there are two dynamics of gold pricing that normally happens. The first dynamic that normally, affect gold pricing is more of inflation, where now people feel like, oh, the economy is going bad, so
Mm.
let's go for gold as a security.
Yeah.
That's one aspect. And the second aspect where people feel, oh, now the economy is doing so well, let's invest more in risky assets. Then
Mm.
the attention now goes to go to buy more. So that in times where the economy is not doing well and things are bad, they have a lot of gold to save them. And so the dynamics of gold pricing is not straightforward. That if the economy is doing well, you expect gold price to fall. It doesn't really happen that way
Mm.
because of what we normally use gold for.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why people always say, as for gold, you can't really predict with accuracy because you are seasons that you see it rallying, and there are seasons that you expect it to fall, then it's moving with the stock market. In fact,
Mm.
research has shown that most often gold move in tandem with stock market rallies. So anytime you see the stock market rallying, moving up, you see gold also following suit. And most of you, gold starts first before the stock market follows. So there's also that dimension. But in a situation where, the economy is also too bad, then people also still tend to gold as a
Mm.
safe haven. And so it's the dynamics of gold is complex.
Mm. All right, John, I think our time is up. But let me wrap up. I'll take your final thoughts shortly. But just before that, so for households, how long is it going to take for them to begin to feel the benefits? And that's one of the questions. And then maybe
Yes.
also
Yes,
for,
and that's a very good
yeah,
question.
go ahead.
Yes, that's a very good question, Mr. Hammond. I think, we have gone through a lot for the past 2, 3 months because of the war. We are, by God's grace, is ending this Friday, and we are very happy about it. The price has been started. It's not like we are even waiting for the day to sign. You realize that, NPA has reduced their fuel price. It means that consumers will start enjoying lower fuel price even from today going, because today is 16th. So
Mm.
from today going, they are going to experience that benefit. And once the war ends on Friday and the day is signed from Monday, I'm sure we are going to see a significant drop in oil
Hello? All right, I think the network. Uh,
price, and I'm sure we are all going to benefit from that.
all right, John. So maybe, so
Yes,
the way we are painting the picture, it
yes, please, I can
appears,
hear you.
yes, it appears that uh, it looks like things are going to be like perfect. Are there any things that can offset all these things that we are talking about, all the benefits we are talking about?
Yeah, so normally, see, when it comes to global issues, the dynamics of global politics is complex. As today we are even talking about the Iran war over, something else can start. A
Mm.
lot of things can start, and then everything turn back. So despite, we see a positive outlook, you must also be a bit cautious in terms of, where to take advantage and what not to take advantage of. What I mean is that, once things are better, sometimes you have to take that decision to, cushion yourself in case, another tragedy happens and everything turns. In 2020, we are all not expecting, you know, something called coronavirus to appear, and it just appeared.
Mm.
So, as far as we are in the world, it's not like once this is over, nothing comes up. When this is over, another thing comes up. You see that one country will go, and then there's a whole lot of conflict everywhere. So, it's not like, I mean, we should not expect anything happening. I mean, other factors may happen, but I want us to be more, more positive in terms of the future, especially when it comes to Ghana as a
Mm.
country. Okay, we have taken that hard decisions in 2025. You have sacrificed a lot. I mean, government has to rationalize expenditure throughout all his ministries, a whole lot of things. Bank of Ghana has to suffer a lot of loss to stabilize the economy.
Mm.
After stabilization, there must be growth. It is when the growth happens that, I mean, everybody benefits. Do you get it? And that must be a bit lasting for everybody to enjoy. If it doesn't last for long, that's really going to be problematic. And every effort you have put in place previous years will not matter again. So I just want to be more positive that, I mean, something that was strengthening our, recovery, our growth has now come to an end. And that's why I'm more expectant that, I mean, things will be far better. And then wherever we want to reach as a country, we'll be able to get there. And that's why
Mm.
I'm more being positive with the things that I'm sharing today than being pessimistic about the future.
Mm. I see. But an interesting dynamic in there also is that Netanyahu has not really given his support to this agreement. And that could mean a lot of things. And so maybe we'll monitor going forward. We'll see what will happen, and then we can really bang on all the things that you're saying. Like, I mean, fully. I don't know if you have anything to say, and then we can go.
Yes. Yes. So I think my final words is that, I mean, we have to be more positive. I mean, we are building a country.
Mm.
The current managers are doing their best. We must be more positive and take advantage when it comes out. I mean, we must take advantage, expand our business, especially business people, so that they can also employ more. And then that will reduce the unemployment problem that we are facing.
Mm.
I'm hoping that as Bank of Ghana is aggressively trying to reduce lending rates, businesses take advantage of it and expand to create more opportunities for the growing youth
Mm.
that is seeking employment. That's my final results.
Mm. John, thank you very much. I'm really grateful for your time this morning, and thanks so much for sharing your insight with us.
Thank you too. I appreciate
All
it,
right.
Mr.
Please do enjoy the rest of your day. All right, so that was John Che. John Che is a financial analyst, and he joined us this morning. We've been talking about the U.S.-Iran deal and what exactly the potential, effects will be for Ghana's economy, for the global economy, as well as businesses and households in this country. And John is very positive about the impact. He says that we're going to see a lot of things change. Of course, if nothing offsets all the agreements and all of the deals that have been, that are actually going to be finalized on Friday in Switzerland. And so we'll continue to monitor all of those things. We'll monitor fuel prices. We'll monitor every other thing and see exactly what comes out of that after Friday. And so thank you so much for joining us this morning right here on a Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM. We're back again tomorrow for some more interesting conversations. Until then, please take care of yourself. And when you think Ghana, think Z. My name is Ni Trebi Hammond. I'll see you tomorrow. Up next is A Brighter Side with Jeremy Okoria Marco. Bye-bye.